Hello, you beautiful students and dear parents. Another episode of UncleCode Review. Let's see today who is the person we want to review his or her code. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Maysam, Ervina, Ash. How do you guys? How's it going on?
Very good.
Oh, good.
Perfecto. So today we are here to review another student code. Let me guess if this child is a girl or is a boy. I go for boy.
Correct.
Great. So
first guess is correct.
So who is this person? Who is this student?
Can you guess how old is the kid?
That means when joined to Kidocode.
It's become more difficult now.
Okay, before we
it's
start,
not a 50-50 chance.
Before we start the show, you told me how old is now. So
yeah, now.
Okay, so I can do a little bit of the cheating. I guess that should be like maybe 16, 17 years old.
Yeah, actually good range too. So this student, his name is Carl. He's now 19 years old. Yeah, Carl.
Now he's 19 years old.
Yes, now he's 19 and he joined 3 years ago.
I remember him. Well, how old was when he joined?
He is 16 when he joined.
Okay. I remember him. Very into this coding and active. Hello, Carl. 19 years old. Wow, amazing. You are now 19 and joined 16. He's 3 years, right? That's cool.
Yeah.
Great. And do you know where is he now and what he's doing?
Not really, but I actually connected with him in LinkedIn, and he posted that he is now somehow like a UX designer. So I think he's aspiring to become a UX designer.
Interesting.
Very good. It's really feels really good.
In Kidocode, the main things that I think I wanted always was the inspiration, that motivational things. That means one of your kid feel and sense his or her future career, rather than make them a coder or graphist or YouTube engineer. That is a good thing, but first I wanted to just see that a direction. Oh, I want to be this. Oh, not like many of us cross age 30 and then we just figure out what we wanted to do, and that's a little late. So let us start and review the code.
Okay, let's go to the code.
Let's share the screen. So,
all right, let me explain about this practice.
Okay.
This is one of the famous practices that's in numerical practices, that we're creating a random point in different locations, and there's a possibility that this point fits inside the distance from the origin point, but basically be inside the circle. So in this one, they should point out those who are in those points who are inside, draw a red line, and if there's outside, drawing a green line to that. There's a small issue in that code. You can get it to that later.
Okay, perfect. So let's go through the code. I'll remove this commented code. Let's see. We wanted to, so we're just going to remove it, and then we're just going to go there, and I'm going to run the code first.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Perfect.
Nice.
Perfect. Interesting. Let's just run it again, guys. Okay, let's one more time run it.
It's
beautiful.
Interesting. So basically, is generating some random location points on the screen, and if that point is outside the circle, you use red color to draw a line from the center, and if it's inside the circle, it's green, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Very interesting.
Okay, calculating the distance is one of them. Using random is one of them, and also the decision making, whether we go for this color or that color.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through the code. Carl, now you're a UX designer apparently. I'd like to see you soon, but I'm gonna also go through your code, and that's good that we asked him to watch this video. So. There are a few things come to my eyes immediately when I look at the code. First of all, is that if else can be improved. I'll talk about it why. And then there is a print also here. Let's see what he printed here. I think he printed the random number generated. Okay, so he generated a random number between minus 300 and 300, and that is 260 or maybe negative 192 because I run the code 2 times. And then where he used this random number, he didn't use it. I guess he was testing. I got it. You know what? Okay, so let's go to the code. Let's go to the, I got it. What he's doing. The size is good, or I zoom a little bit.
I think a little bit zoom would be good.
So, sum pen up and go to the 0 minus 200, and then pen down in the circle, and then pen up, and then go 0 0 and pen down. Okay, so it's drawing a circle. It's drawing a circle. And the reason does this adjustment, he's trying to do this adjustment, is because he wants to put the circle at the center of the screen. Because circle draw from the place that turtle is. So if you bring turtle to the center, because by default turtle is at the center, you draw a circle, the circle won't be located in the way that the center of the circle is the center of the screen in the black screen. So because you want to draw a circle with that radius of 200 that he's thinking about it, so it's really interesting. He's bringing the turtle to minus 200 down from the centers down, and then draw the circle. So that's what the first these lines of codes are doing. It's great. It's interesting. So let me just run this part, and then you see that that's a circle. You have the circle. So that's what it does, and it's still this little guy is at the center. So if you run it, so it will better. So this is the center, and then draw the circle. You know, if I make it like make it a little bit slow, you see what's happening. It moves down, then draw the circle, down, and then draw the circle. So this is what he does. Go to 0 minus 200. It says 0 0, and here is minus 200, the y. So go there, draw a circle, and then back again, and again jump back to 0 0. So now everything is reset. You have a circle, you have a turtle at the center. That's what he is down here. And then now look at the for loops. So we have a for loops here. The for loops is trying to do this 100 times. So 100 times, it's produce a random number from minus 300 to 300. This is the x. And minus 300 to 300 is the y. So 300 minus, you know, so you're targeting a kind of a square with the width of 600, 600. So because turtle is at the center, again, turtle is at the center. So minus 300, 300 positive. Positive 300 in the x, minus 300 here. So you are targeting a square area like this size, around this size, okay? So because the radius is 200, so 100 pixel more a little bit. That means like around somewhere here, and somewhere here, and somewhere here. So you can imagine a square, a kind of invisible square around the area. So you're picking up a point randomly. Randomly means random amount for the x, random amount for the y. And that's the function, that's the rand-in that does this kind of thing for you. And he was trying, I guess, to make sure that his rand-in works. I guess debugging, Carl, you were debugging in your own code. And I think that's really cool. Yeah. So these two lines can be commented because they're not a part of the main code. Now let's go again too. So you generate two random position, x and y. And then this is the famous formula for a circle. So circles has a formula. Circle is a shape. So you can come up with a formula for that shape. That means every point in circle has same distance to the center. Okay, same distance to the center. So it means like if you look at the circle, if you look at here, look at here, look at wherever, it doesn't matter. You pick up a point in the circle, the distance from that point to the center of a circle is the same, and we call it radius. So that's the definition. So now you are picking up a random point. Let's say you're picking up here. So if I want to know is inside the circle or outside the circle, the easy way is to calculate the distance from that point to the center. If it's more than the radius, means outside the circle. If it's less than the radius, means inside the circle. Right? That's kind of thing that you can do that. And this is a kind of simple concept, but has a lots of application in physics, in electromagnetism, in telecommunication, in even the rotor you have at your home. This you can think of the area circle. If you are in the circle, you will be detected by the rotor. If you're outside, you won't be detected. You will be detected by the other rotor. And there are a lot of interesting things coming around. What if you are in two rotors circled area? It's really interesting. You can even think about the other way. Bring it to the social science. Imagine the person total is you are, and circle is a circle of your friends, the circle that you know, people you know, huh? So people closer to you means the distance to you is closer. People more than that circle, they're outside your circle. People on circle, they're on edge of your friendship. So if someone can bring these mathematical concepts to that social science, who knows, maybe come up with some interesting app. So that's how we're going to do that. So back to UncleCode. Carl Jr.'s. So what I'm going to do for you is full hungry now. So what he's done here, he calculated the distance. So let's go through the code again. X and Y. What was the X and Y that random two locations? So the formula is very famous, very popular, very famous.
Pythagoras.
If I go for circle formula, you know what, if you're just going to look at that point, you know, okay, you can have it here, circle. Maybe I'll go to the images and pick up something that shows it in a better way. Yeah, here, for example, I'll go for this one. So look at that every point you take from the circle has X and Y. X squared plus Y squared is equal by radius squared, okay? And it has connectivity to Pythagorean theorem. It has connectivity to Euler formula. It can derive from different ways. So X squared, Y squared is equal by R squared. So some points on a screen that when you square their coordinates and add together, you always get the same numbers. So it's a really interesting concept. You can really ponder into this. So then, but here, that's the distance. Now we're talking about distance. If distance is supposed to be more than the R, the radius, it's outside. If it's lesser than that, it's inside. So let's see what he has done. He checked something. He said that if D, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
UncleCode, if you add some inter at the end of the code, we can push it up a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, let's resolve the issue.
Good. Okay. So now look at that. So there's what he's doing. He's trying to check that if the stance is in the circle, but this stance is the distance. Distance is never is negative, huh? How many kilometers in between? How many distance centimeters is a positive value, and this is a positive amount. Because remember that X squared plus Y squared is radius squared or distance squared. So he powered to half to give us a square root and give us a distance.
Oh.
Okay, so because if you don't do that, it's R squared. So you have to get the square root.
Yes.
So, and in mathematics, anything to the power of the half is a square root. That's one of the fast way to do that. So now you have a distance. So he has to check distance is more than radius or not. Radius is 200, right, Maysam?
Yeah, it chooses 200.
So if it's less than 200, you don't need to do this part. This part is unnecessary, right? Because distance never ever going to be negative. Distance is 0 or whatever. So if D is less, let's call it equal, better. Okay, maybe you can choose different colors for those that exactly reach to the edge. Let's do that. Okay, so if D lesser than 200, do the green. Else means greater or equal or whatever, do the other one. So I do that when I run the code. Oh, let's make it.
Yeah, exactly.
But you see that is good to see. You see that outside?
Yeah.
Inside. Okay, so I'm just gonna run it. Now we're gonna get the same thing. And so that's one thing. That's one thing, guys. And I like to do a few more things to the code. Carl, I want to just modify your code. That's a really interesting thing that you've done it here. And I like to add a few things to that one. So first of all, I want to say that elif, he is greater than 200 to do that. And then finally, else. So I'll follow the same way that Carl wrote the code. So maybe I make this yellow. So yellow,
you need to be really lucky.
So that is only exactly happen on an exactly age.
Oh. What is it gonna show now?
Let's see if you have the luck on that one.
Let's see, is there any yellow coming up or not?
Come on, come on,
Yeah.
come on.
Oh, there are some yellows.
Yeah.
Is it?
There are some yellows.
Is it, or is the combination of red and green?
I feel it's no, yeah, you're right. It's a combination. It looks like a yellow. It's not
Maybe
yellow.
we'll change the color to blue. Try.
Yeah.
and I make this like a kind of more like kind of, you know, some.
Yeah, and you want to turn on the. I mean, if you turn tracer, I'm afraid you might. Blue. No. Oh my God. No, the chance of being that is
Really
quite rare. You know, it's 300 to 300. It's 90,000 pixels. Okay. Well, the circumference is 2 pi r, which is the something like 600 times 200, 1,200, something like that.
Let's calculate it here.
Yeah.
Look at the good calculator. So you know what? Look at the score. The score is 600 by 600. So that's 600 multiplied 600. Okay. So that's the area of the circle.
True.
So
this many pixels.
So this is the area of how many pixels we have. Yes, how many pixels we have in the main area. That's the amount. And then how many pixels we have only on circumference, on the circle. So we have to calculate the circumference, which is 2r pi, 2r pi. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to just duplicate this. So I'm going to write 2 multiply 200 multiply 3.14. So then I'm going to get this amount, 1,000. There are 1,256 points on circle, and this is what we're targeting out of this amount. So if we want to calculate all of them, it will be 1,256 divide by 360. That's the chance. Okay.
3 out of 1,000.
Oh, less real.
Right.
Okay.
So if you go for 1,000 lines, 3 might be blue.
Look at that. There's still nothing happening. Well, so I want to just do one more touch up to the code. Look at this. You see that we love to use Carl for loops to avoid repetitive tasks. But here I see, doesn't matter if it's inside or outside or on the circle, you're doing these 2 lines of code, right? So why not bring it out of the if? Because eventually you have to do that. The only thing is changing is the color. You got my point. So here, what I do, I can remove this, and I can bring these 2 out of the if because it doesn't matter. Eventually you have to do that. So this is computational thinking. Imagine apply such a skills in your life. How many hours you can save? And there are many kind of repetitive tasks we do because of bad design in our mind. But coding teaches us a really nice way to tackle all this kind of stuff. And you have done it really nice, especially switching the colors. But now we can bring it through this one. So if you run this one, you will get the same things. Okay, it's still working. And then you're going to do that. And yes, I had fun. How about you guys?
Exactly. If we count the number of, let's say, blue or let's say green, the reverse of that calculation, we can measure the pi number with a good accuracy, but it has to go for billions of numbers, billions of points.
Simulation.
It's a numeric way of.
Very nice. Exactly. It's a really interesting point. This is a kind of mechanism that you can calculate the area of any shapes, and in this case, it can be pi. It's really nice. So let's look at the code again one more time, guys. This is the part that you draw the circle and the for loops and then whatever. And same as always, because you're not going to use anything from the test call, so you can make it like an underline. So you don't need to have extra variables. Code green, you use lesser memory and energy and less electricity. So that's great. Very good. I'm very happy that I hear that you're a designer. So make sure we can have a kind of talk with Carl, and if whoever you are watching these videos, you may be 11 years old, 12 years old. I think don't think Carl was 6 and did this. I believe that if Carl joined us, he will also admit this. At age 10, 11, you can do that. He may say that I wish I joined 11, 12, but he's a really good boy. I remember him smart and hardworking and supportive in the community. And that's a very good. I hope that to see him, and also I hope that you guys get some ideas out of these designs. I try to give an example of social science a little bit. I try to bring a little bit of more variety, especially when it comes to image processing, satellite They can calculate the distance to know if something is in or out. And also I talk about telecommunication, that kind of stuff. So this is how you can expand your imagination and apply it to your future job. Guys, thank you so much. I really loved it. Give me a little bit of dopamine.
By the way, Carl, good job, Carl.
Well done. Yeah.
Never ever forget that. You are programmer. Okay, you guys worry, I say coders.
Yeah, I was worried.